Picture the President of the United States walks into the Federal Reserve like a foreman checking a job site. But this is not just any inspection, it's a full-scale confrontation over $3 billion in taxpayer money. Jerome Powell tried to block White House staff from visiting. It was a bad move. So Trump showed up personally, brought the cameras, and started asking the hard questions that nobody else would dare to ask. And what he discovered inside those marble halls will infuriate every American who's ever been a checkbook. The Fed's little palace renovation just became a massive scandal, and Powell's sitting in the hot seat with nowhere to hide. You will not believe what Trump said right to his face. Keep watching. Now, you probably think your 401k is safe, but it wasn't designed to make you wealthy. It was built to shift retirement costs and risk onto you, leaving your savings exposed to crashes, inflation, and chaos. But Americans are waking up and taking control of real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands secure their future by converting 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without penalties or headaches. It's safe, it's simple, and it's smart. Visit nextnewsgold.com to get your free wealth protection kit and discover how to safeguard your savings. Open a qualified account today and receive two 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coins free. That's nextnewsgold.com, your exit from the danger zone, or that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. And when you call, when you talk to Colin or you talk to the guys over there, tell them Gary Franchi said hello. So here it is. Trump checking out the construction at the Fed.
Back under Well, thank you very much, everybody, and it feels very good, actually, to be back on a construction site.
President Trump back on construction site. Now, this clip here has just gone totally viral. It is an amazing watch indeed. Now, I'm going to play it in full. And what's especially beautiful is what President Trump says right at the very end of this clip to Jerome Powell. Oh, my God. Oh, this is great. This is a beautiful thing. Watch.
I think we hear the president. Let's tune in.
With the chairman, as you know. Come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening. And it's a tough construction job. They're building basements where didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and you're in charge of the committee.
Indeed. One of the reasons why we wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses. Wanted to figure out why.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 0.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1,
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation.
It's our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't.
He says we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use. This is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. These guys print money, okay? They print it. We've got a little bit of a reserve. When he said that, I was like, yeah, dude, come on. Oh, it just makes me sick. Okay, we shall continue.
Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue...
As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So.
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you? The country's doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan. Japan is putting up.
So that was personally my favorite part. Love him to lower interest rates and just boom, hits him on the back.
Project manager.
With the chairman, he's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So.
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you? The country's doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan.
God bless President Trump. Here it is. Everyone talking about it. Look at everyone jumping into the Fed today to check out Powell's $3.1 billion construction project. Here's what Trump posted on Truth Social. Getting ready to head over to the Fed to look at their $3.1 billion plus construction project. Also, President will be Fed Chair Jerome Powell, Senator Tim Scott, Senator Tom Tillis, OMB Director Russ Vought, Chairman of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Bill Plute, my appointees to the National Capital Planning Commission, James Blair and Will Scharf, and various other construction professionals. Damn! Talk about auditing. President Trump visiting the Fed to check on Jerome Powell's renovations to the building. Powell attempted to block the White House staff from visiting, so Trump decided to personally show up. Yeah, you can't stop President Trump. Eric Trump posting this 4 hours ago. I'll finish the Federal Reserve renovation. There wouldn't be a penny of waste. $900 million over budget is a disgrace. Here's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking about it. President Trump changing the narrative. Listen.
So President Trump has changed the narrative here that his theory of the case, and he's absolutely right, is that the entire world wants to trade with the United States of America, that the U.S. consumer, the U.S. producers are the deepest and richest, most important market. So everyone is willing to pay a toll. Two, that these negotiations, as you said, the other countries have been willing to all their trade barriers. Indonesia came with a series of very good offers, and I looked at what they were giving up. I think we struck out 11,000 lines of tariffs from Indonesia. And as President Trump says, I don't blame the Indonesians. It was the past administrations that let them get away with it. And then three, we are seeing now President Trump has convinced the Senate, perhaps our allies, that secondary tariffs are a way to enforce foreign policy. So there's talk now of secondary tariffs on any country that buys Russian oil. So the Senate's willing to go along with that. Let's see if our European allies are also. President Trump
President Trump flipping the narrative. Here's what Treasury Secretary Bessent said about the Fed. I don't understand what's going on over there, he says.
A good idea. I don't really understand what's going on with the size, the scope, the cost of the building renovations. One can ask, was it a good idea to start the renovations for an enterprise that's losing $100 billion a year? So $100 billion because of a mismatch in the bond portfolio from the short-term rates. And I think that the Fed should undertake an internal review because I think all the other operations are endangering its independence of monetary policy. As I've said, monetary policy should be kept independent. It's a jewel box, should be walled off. But by undertaking all these other activities, then you come in for criticism, just like you're seeing here, that might impinge on monetary independence. I don't really understand.
Here we have more. Fed Chair Jerome Powell and the exorbitant cost overrun. We just saw that clip. A reporter asked, what would you do to a manager? Oh, check this out. What? I'd fire him? As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager? Generally speaking, I'd fire him.
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just...
Here's the moment he arrived, like a boss. Yeah. President Trump showing up. I was like, yeah, look at all the pretty walls and stuff. Yeah, we need all this stuff here. We keep printing money. President Trump showing up like a boss. President Trump touring the Federal Reserve building with Jerome. That building is nothing but a tomb, destroying our currency every single day. And now they're... So this whole thing here, this is all cause for Powell to be fired. I'm not sure why President Trump hasn't fired him yet. Like, what is the holdup here? Okay? We got to get rates lowered. We got to turn on the housing market. Let's go. Who wants to wait 8 months? So President Trump ambushing Chairman Powell today. Beautiful sight to see. And if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, this is what accountability looks like, America. While you struggle with grocery bills and gas prices, Jerome Powell just blew $3.1 billion renovating his palace. But don't worry, he can just print the money, right? But it's your money. $900 million over budget, while the Fed loses $100 billion a year. Now, Trump didn't send a letter or schedule a meeting. He showed up, called out the waste to Powell's face, and said what everyone's thinking: I'd fire him. This is why the establishment hates Trump. He exposes their gravy train. Eric Trump offered to finish the job without wasting a penny. That's the difference between builders and bureaucrats. Powell thought he could hide behind closed doors and secret budget. Wrong. The master negotiators walked into his house and demanded an answer. So here's my question. Should Powell be fired immediately? Yeah or no? Let me know in the comments below, and grab your next news gear from the merch shop. The link is in the description. Real patriots demand real accountability and quality gear. Shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, linked down below.